the only show that enables women to share their own secrets and insights to wellness, one story at a time.
Thank you, Paul. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday afternoon. This is Diane McConaughey from My Jane. Welcome to our My Jane, My Story for the day. To tell you a little bit about My Jane, our mission is to help you own your wellness through community education and exploration of cannabis solutions, addressing our biggest health concerns like sleep, pain, and stress. And we all know that this is the information age, and we can find so much information out there on the internet or just people we're talking with. And so we decided that we needed to come together and share some stories of some real life experiences so we can be better and do better by helping one another. And everyone's journey is unique. Every path is special. So we decided to create My Jane, My Story to share these stories. So we will have different stories from experts, everyday My Jane community members, and just people that are in the industry or just in life. They're trying to find a better way of health and balance in our lives. So today, I'm excited to have our guest here today. I would like to introduce Shanetta McDonald from QCoco. She is their Southern California director. And I wanted to just tell the little things that they had on their website that I thought was so interesting. It's 6 unbreakable rules of doing business. And I thought this was so cool and just so cute how these 6 things that are important to QCoco. Number 1 is no a-holes. I know I'm not going to say the whole word, but we all know who those people are. Number 2 is equality for women. Number 3 is unrelenting quality. Number 4, generosity of spirit. Number 5, when it all goes horribly wrong, laugh. We could all do that more often, I imagine. And number 6, make an impact. So I thought that was a great thing to tell to start out. So hello, Shanetta. Thank you for coming today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
I'm very excited to be here.
Welcome to excited to have you. So tell us a little bit about you and your background and how you got into cannabis.
Yeah, that's a great question. How did I get into cannabis? So I have a former life of being a PR executive for about 10 years prior to coming on board to QCoco.
Okay.
Doesn't feel like I'm that old, but I did have had a whole other life.
10 years goes by so fast.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does. So yeah, I did PR for 10 years. I'm actually from Chicago, born and raised.
Okay.
Relocated to Boston for work, another PR opportunity, and then came to California roughly about 7 years ago.
Oh, welcome.
And thank you. I'm still making it my home, but I absolutely love it here.
Yeah, good.
So I did PR for 10 years, had a pretty successful career, loved what I was doing for a majority of the career. And then actually I'd say it started about 2016. I wanted to work in this space just from having personal experiences with cannabis.
Oh, great.
And back then I had no idea how to get into this space.
Yeah.
It was more of the Wild Wild West. It still is. But it was a little wilder back then.
Definitely.
And kind of just let the idea go, essentially. And then at the beginning of last year, due to just not being happy in my former but current at the time work situation, really set the intention to work in this space. I believe in intentions, and I got very clear about the type of company that I wanted to work in, the type of work that I wanted to do.
Cool.
And essentially just made it happen. And QCoco just came about, and it's been a match made in heaven ever since.
God, you manifested QCoco.
I
love
did.
it.
I absolutely did.
Well, tell us about QCoco. Just tell us all about it.
Yeah, so QCoco, we are a women-owned, women-led and centered cannabis wellness company. It's a beautiful brand, and we essentially make edibles, low-dosed, consistent, reliable edibles.
Nice.
We're sold in about, a little over 350 plus dispensaries throughout the entire state of California. So we've grown rapidly, and we launched in the summer of 2017.
Okay, wow.
So a little over 2 years.
That's crazy.
We were in the making many years before that, but our launch was summer 2017, and we've grown rapidly.
Very
and the
cool.
products that we make under the edible umbrella are cannabis wellness teas that people know us for.
Nice.
And then we've just launched honey, and we have some other beautiful surprise product launches coming down the pipeline pipeline later this year.
Love it. Well, I know. And to let you guys know that we have partnered with QCoco, and you're a big part of our boxes. And people love the teas.
Awesome.
So we would love to hear a little more in depth about the teas and the products.
Yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about the QCoco story and how we came about. I think that might be helpful. So our founders are Jen Chapin and Amanda Jones. They've been friends for 25 plus years, I believe. And actually their first business venture together is a nonprofit called Cynthia Sisters, in which they work with, they work in partnership with the ABA, the American Bar Association, to send women in the Congo to law school. The Congo is one of the most dangerous places in the world for women to live. And they believe that through providing them with education, that it can help lift that a bit, a lot actually. So that was their first business venture together. And then shortly after, they had a friend named Jan who is undergoing chemo treatment for ovarian cancer. And Jan was using edibles as a part of that treatment. So she was using, cannabis. She knew the benefits of it. And this was about 5 years ago. So back then, the cannabis world was very different. Walking into a dispensary was a completely different experience than what it is today. Obviously, it was pre-Prop 64. And products were not very reliable, not consistent, not low-dosed by any means. And there were very minimal regulations around testing and having good quality products. So Jan realized this. There are stories of her having to crawl on her hands and knees to go to the bathroom at times. Just because of products being overdosed. And she wanted a healthy, solution to that. She wanted to use cannabis, but she was like, there has to be something better.
Was she using it in addition to chemo, or was she using it in addition to other things?
Yes. She was
Okay, so she knew the benefits of what it was doing as well.
Exactly. So she was undergoing chemo treatment, but it was, cannabis was just another section of her treatment plan. And so she just wanted something healthier to put in her body and something more reliable, something consistent, again, low dosed. And so Jen Chapin all of the QCoco team is incredible. But Jen Chapin, she's an amazing serial entrepreneur and has done so for many, many years. And so to my understanding, I believe Jan brought the idea to Jen, given her background, and said, hey, there is something in this space. There's something that's missing. And after doing more research, Jen realized, and consulting with Amanda, they realized that it was a human rights violation, that people were not getting access to cannabis in the way that they needed it. And just really dug deep and did a lot of research. Number one, to understand the reasons as to why people were medicating, right? And those reasons fall under mood, pain, anxiety, sleep, and libido. So it's to get clear, okay, so why are, what's number, and actually backing up, what's the state of the health in the country right now? Obviously, prescription pills are on the rise, opioid use is on the rise. So they identified that, and then was, realized, okay, we also need to know why people are medicating, and they found that out, and they just took it and ran with it. And it was Jan's idea, first tea. She was like, I wish there were, I've heard the story goes that, that she said she wishes there were a tea that she could consume. And I'm not sure our founders knew much about tea or cannabis before that. So they had their work cut out for them. Tea is very hard to produce, and as far as it goes with cannabis. So they did a lot of work for years, doing the research and also formulating the products to make sure that they worked, that they were healthy, that they appeal to women. And I'll say now that men love our teas as well. So they're for everyone. We don't want to alienate anyone. It's so funny. My boyfriend steals my sleep tea, the Tranquility. He steals it often.
He's like, where's all my tea?
Yeah, where's all my tea? He's like, I need the sleep. At about 10 o'clock, he's like, it's tea time. Where's tea?
It's a ritual in your house. I love that.
It is. It really is. And so that's how tea came about. And again, as a part of being a business in this industry in the state of California, we want to expand on our portfolio. So again, we are developing new products, but that's the story of tea. And currently we have 4 different teas. And our products focus on effect. So we don't necessarily go by sativa, indica, or hybrid. We do a lot of education and really focus on the wants and needs of the consumer. And that's how our products were formulated, essentially. So realizing and understanding that consumers want to medicate for mood, sleep, pain,
Yeah.
anxiety, and libido.
Right.
That's where our teas come in. So we have Tranquility is our number one selling tea.
And tell what the Tranquility is. Tell what's in it.
Yes, okay.
Because I think the ingredients are great.
Yes. So all of the teas, the herbs pair well with the cannabis ratio to accentuate the properties of that tea. So Tranquility, it's a sleep tea, right? It helps with insomnia and relaxing. So it has drowsy or relaxing herbs. So it has chamomile, lavender, peppermint, valerian root, and it's just really, really delicious.
It really is.
It's nice. It's the perfect relaxing tea for the end of the day.
I like the smell of it.
Yeah.
Just to sit and just hold it under my nose at night. And that's part of this, helping
yeah.
me go to sleep too.
It's the process. It's all the process and
Right.
the ritual. And Tranquility, it actually has a number of different uses. It helps with insomnia and sleep for sure. Women going through menopause, obviously, both of our audiences are primarily women, but, I've heard they have issues sleeping. And so Tranquility definitely helps with that. It also may seem counteractive to drink a hot beverage if you're going through a hot flash, but the
Yeah.
peppermint in the tea is very cooling.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what that's the feedback we've gotten. And so we
Good.
offer that up to customers as well. Tranquility also has CBN, not to get too sciencey, but it's an entirely different cannabinoid, just like THC and CBD. And CBN is what I call the drowsy cannabinoid.
Yeah.
It's essentially aged or oxidized THC, and in your body, it acts as a natural sedative.
Okay.
So how the tea works is the CBN gets you drowsy to fall asleep and works with the THC to help you stay asleep, essentially.
Is it psychoactive like
it can
THC?
be mildly psychoactive, and so we
Okay.
do give that warning. And it's such a small amount. The dosage is 5 milligrams CBN, 3 THC.
Okay.
So it can be psychoactive. For some people, it's not. But for some people, we say, if you have to get up and pee in the middle of the night, you may be a little lit, but
Yeah.
just
woozy, yeah.
a little, maybe perhaps.
Yeah.
And so because of the CBN, CBN is a neuroprotector. We've heard that it also helps with migraine relief.
Nice.
And I had my first migraine. It was horrible. I thought it was it for me. I was like, what is this? People have this often. Like, how
I
do
know.
they
Can you
survive?
imagine?
It's really, really astonishing.
It is.
I think it was back in January, actually. I wasn't feeling well. For whatever reason, I took NyQuil, and NyQuil is very dehydrating, apparently, and I hadn't taken it in years. I think I took it maybe 2 nights in a row, and then also someone gave me some supplements to make me feel better, and it was just too much for my body. And I was actually driving to dinner to meet up with an old boss and an old colleague, and I was on the 405 freeway, and I had a headache, and it just got progressively worse. I pulled over and went to the pharmacy and got Advil. I had some cannabis and nothing helped. I was like, what is happening? And then I remembered from being out in the field and hearing the feedback that Tranquility helps with migraines. I remember that I was like, I have Tranquility in the trunk. I was like, I have some in my car. So I ran into Starbucks, got some hot water, drank the Tranquility, and was able to sit through the dinner comfortably.
Nice.
It wasn't perfect, but I was able to, it was debilitating. Like, I couldn't drive. It was awful. And I was able to sit through the dinner.
It helped you function.
It did.
Maybe not 100%.
Exactly.
But,
I drank some more once I got home and went to bed. And the next day
Right.
I woke up feeling completely normal.
That's amazing.
It was a lifesaver.
Yeah. Well, and tell us about the other teas.
Yeah, so the other tea is next to Sympathy. It's a high CBD tea. The herbs there are ginger, turmeric, black pepper, star anise. It's very earthy. People say it feels like a nice warm massage. And that's the tea that I recommend for people who are newer to cannabis because it's such a low dose of THC. It is still psychoactive, but it's very mild. I recommend it for seniors because a lot of times they don't necessarily want to get high, but they want to feel better.
Right.
And it's just an all-around really great wellness tea. If I have to take a daily tincture, usually if I don't have that, I'll drink a cup of tea.
Nice.
I drink it for menstrual cramps. It
Okay.
helps incredibly for that. Muscle spasms, back pain, post-chemo nausea, all of the things.
Well, let me tell you, we have a member that's 92
Oh.
that I have talked to quite a few times, and she took the Sympathy, and and then the next day I talked to her, and she goes, "Oh yeah, it did help me relax. I think I slept well." So it's a great testament to that tea, and she, being 92 and not ever knowing what cannabis is, and just to hear the issues she's having, and then the Sympathy helped her relax. I was like, "Yay!"
It is such a joy to be. I'm in the field quite often, and just to hear the stories and hear how much the products have helped them.
Definitely.
There was a story from one of our accounts practice in Orange County. They had a client, one of the bartenders had a patient who had cerebral palsy and who had it for years and actually had a caregiver. And the caregiver mentioned that they purchased Sympathy to help with their pain and just help them to relax better.
Good.
And after drinking the Sympathy, the patient was able to get a great night, like a night of rest, and they hadn't been able to sleep comfortably in years.
Wow.
They were also being fed through a feeding tube, so they couldn't obviously consume food. So the tea was perfect for that. And so just hearing that, I was like, oh, I'm not going to stop in front of you, but that's like, it's really, really incredible.
Well, and hearing those stories, you know, with both of us being in this industry, isn't it just amazing to hear what the wonderful things that these are doing for people?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last two teas are Sensuality is our libido tea. It has warming herbs, which promote blood flow, which is what you part of what you need for arousal. So it has hibiscus, rose petals, orange peel, cardamom.
Nice.
It's delicious. It's very floral. It's great as an alcohol replacement. It's great over ice. And also, I mean, in Tranquility is, Sensuality is also can also be microdosed for pain as well, or just to be present and grounded. So it does work for libido, but it also has other uses too.
Great.
And it's my favorite tasting tea. It's really amazing.
I know the flavors in that is really good. I love that one.
And then last is Positivity. It's a bit of a higher dose, so it's a 2-to-1. It's caffeinated. It's the only caffeinated tea out of the suite currently. And again, that can be used for microdosing for pain or brightening mood, and for people who do want to get a little high, because it's okay for that as well. So
I sometimes do that in the morning when I'm tired, and I don't feel the high. I just feel like, okay, now I can go start my day, because I don't drink coffee, and so it's nice to be able to have something to, no caffeine. It's like, I need something to jumpstart me. So that's a really great tea too. So
I haven't had it in a while. So, and my story with Positivity is sometimes I usually drink it and like just clean the house.
Let's go. It's time to do things.
Yeah, it's time to do things. I actually might have it this afternoon. I have to keep going this afternoon. So I was like, I think I'm trying to just drink some Positivity. So
well, and it's so much better than, and then you're getting the benefit of the cannabinoids, but then you're also getting the benefit of the herbs in the tea instead of having like sugar or something in the middle of the day to give you that boost or caffeine or something of that nature.
Yep.
So it makes such a difference. And tell us about the honey.
Yes. Oh gosh, the honey. So we have amazing honey. So we're actually launching 2 new SKUs. So we launched with 2 factors, and that was buzz and calm. So backing up, the reason as to why we launched the honey, number one, honey just goes so well with tea.
Right.
And as a cannabis wellness company, what are the products that we can offer our customer that are healthy, that do offer additional benefits outside of cannabis, and honey just fits in really well with that. So one of our founders, Amanda Jones, is from New Zealand, so she's a Kiwi.
Oh, okay.
And she has access to a friend's Manuka and Kanuka honey farm.
Oh, wow.
And so that is how the story of honey came about. And so last year we launched Buzz, which is a high THC honey shot. And what do
you mean by high THC? What's the dosage on it?
Yeah, 10 milligrams.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Calm is 10 milligrams CBD.
Okay. So what do you recommend to someone who's new if they take the Buzz?
Yes. So
because 10 milligrams is a little bit on the higher end for a new user.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of microdosing. I know there's still a lot of education that needs to be done around that. So, I think our motto, and a lot of our mottos in this industry, is start low, go slow.
Right.
With our teas, the cannabis is water dispersible. So I always tell people to split the dose. You don't have to consume the entire thing. You can also obviously microdose the teas as well. But even the honey, if I just want like a little pick me up, I'll have, I'll squeeze out a little bit, put the rest away. Yeah. Same with, for both Buzz and Calm. But Calm is because it's predominantly CBD. That's a great entry point into the honey if someone is a little bit nervous.
And you can add that to your Tranquility at night, and that will really, okay. I love that. These combinations.
Right. And then at the end of this month, we're launching Snooze, which is another honey shot.
Okay.
And that'll have melatonin, CBD, and THC.
Nice.
And then Focus will be a 3-to-1, and Focus will have Kanuka honey.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if the listeners are aware of the benefits. So Manuka honey they both have amazing medicinal properties. Both are antibacterial. Manuka honey is antiviral, antioxidant. Our Manuka honey has lepticin, DHA, and magnesium, so it's really good for you. Yeah. And then Kanuka honey is antimicrobial, and it's very rich in hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, okay.
So again, I consume the honey sometimes alone, sometimes with my teas. You can use them in facial masks.
Oh, wow.
The possibilities are endless. So
I love that. Yeah, and I've never heard of Kanuka honey. I've heard of Manuka, but not Kanuka.
There are probably more. I'm sure there are a lot of.
I'm sure that there is. So you guys will have to research that and get back to us, right?
We will.
Well, and what do you guys enjoy about My Jane? Because I know, I mean, we have had such a great relationship with you guys, and we just love you guys. So, what do you guys enjoy about being with My Jane?
Gosh, so many things. And I know the relationship started a little over a year ago, so it's been going on for a while. I think the synergy of working with and supporting another woman-owned, women-centered company is huge for us.
Yeah.
We have very similar audiences with very similar needs, which is great. And I love all of the work that you all do. I've had the luxury of attending a lot of the events down here in Southern California, and my reports back to my team up north have always been like, this is the best well-run event I've ever been to. They had a whole team. They all wore the same colors.
Look for us in white in the scarves.
Yes. It's really a beautiful brand, and you all have done such an amazing job with it.
Well, and our love affair goes the same with you guys. I mean, we just love what you're doing, and I think it's such a great synergy that we have together, because it is reaching out to women, and not just women. You know, I know my husband drinks the tea too, and it's just such a great benefit. And one other thing I saw you guys do is tea parties.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So we actually have directions on how to throw your own high tea party on our website. It's a nice little DIY guide. And we've done quite a few throughout the state. And essentially, it can be done in a number of different ways. We usually have a host. So someone has opened up their home to allow us or their friends to come in and host a tea party. And we come in and we do a tea tasting. So we serve the teas depending on the audience and what works well for the experience of the people attending. We do a presentation on cannabis. It's called our Canna 101 deck.
Oh, cool.
And we really focus on just educating consumers, because a lot of the people that we do work with to host the event, they're new to cannabis, or they're re-entering the cannabis world. So they're really curious to have more knowledge and insight, and to share that with their community, which is great. So it's very much community building, and it's fun. It's really, really fun more than anything.
Well, education, I think, I mean, that's, we both know. I mean, that's where we need to be, is educating people, because they don't know. We want to make them comfortable and not afraid, and willing to try these new things. And you guys have such great products.
It's really fun, and even just our brand aesthetic. So at the tea parties, we wear our fun hats. We wear proper tea dresses sometimes, and petticoats. It's
how fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Well, and you guys have artists that designed your packaging, right?
Yes.
Or, I mean, tell me the story about that. I've heard a little bit, but tell everyone the story about your artists.
Yeah. So first, we do have a full in-house creative team, and they are amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I could even draw. I can't. I know, right? I can't even do that, but we have a full in-house creative team. And Amanda Jones, our co-founder, she oversees pretty much our creative and our brand aesthetic, and really brought that to life. And the designers we worked with have been women as well. So we have Lisa Congdon. I believe she's based in Northern California, and she's responsible for the packaging designs of our Sympathy, Tranquility, and Positivity.
It's beautiful.
And it's incredible. And then Sally Tag is actually a mandala artist.
Oh, wow.
They're a mandala artist based in New Zealand. And so we have these big, beautiful mandalas that are part of our brand aesthetic. They're on our website. They're on our collateral. And some people think that they're graphic designs, and I'm quick to tell them they are not.
No. These are hand designs.
Hand designed.
Yeah,
so this
amazing.
woman took the time and energy to basically lay out all of our tea ingredients respective to each tea, and took photos of them, and they're just gorgeous.
Yeah, they really are.
And
it's just everything about your branding and everything is just, I mean, just like My Jane, it's, we just
carefully
there's
and
so
thoughtfully
much,
done.
absolutely. And just, the love that goes behind it. And you can see it in your, in all your graphics and your teas and everything. So
I remember going to the website before I came on board to the company, and after visiting a lot of cannabis company websites, and I was like, this looks like a real company. Like, they look legit. This
isn't just the Cheech and Chong, hey, stoner dude, yeah, you guys are really legit.
I was very, very intrigued. And last is Susan Black. She's responsible for our Honey Shop packaging.
Oh, okay. That's so great. I know you guys have so many great things, and you do a lot of giving back to the community as well, don't you?
Yes, we do. So we're actually working on our nonprofit now. We have a nonprofit called Verde Viva, and I think the conception of it was, or one of our ideas was to kind of adopt the 1%, the Patagonia's 1% for the planet model. And it's taken us a while to kind of reformulate what this means. You know, as a cannabis company, it's very hard to give our money away, unfortunately.
I know.
And that will change, and it'll
Yes, it
change
will.
because they realize there's money here.
Deschedulizing.
Right. And so we're right now actually really trying to focus on honing in on our strategy. We have our 501c3, which is very
Nice.
exciting. And it will definitely focus on various areas of cannabis research. We're just really trying to formulate the strategy now.
Okay. And I love what you guys are doing just with education too. I mean, because that's our big forefront is educating, education support. And that's why we go so well together. I think it's just amazing that we found KIKOKO. And, it's such a great relationship.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you can tell us about KIKOKO? Anything new coming out besides the snooze, right?
Yeah, snooze and focus. So
okay.
as far as products, and I can talk about them because they're happening for sure. Let's not fall apart, but they will happen. So in the fall, late fall, we'll be launching mints, botanical mints.
Oh, cool.
We are calling them little helpers, and they're beautiful and delicious, as well as tinctures.
Okay.
So those are in the
great.
pipeline for the rest of the year, and then more to come in 2020.
Oh, I'm so excited because I just love your products. I feel like KIKOKO is just a really clean, wonderful, very well thought out product, and I'm so excited for what you guys have coming out. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
And
me.
so I want to leave you guys with I feel like this kind of goes along with KIKOKO. Just a little quote that I found, and it is: "Life is all about balance. You don't always need to be getting stuff done. Sometimes it's perfectly okay and absolutely necessary to shut down, kick back, and do nothing," which you and I were just talking about that earlier. It's like, we work, and how do we shut down? And I think that this life is all about balance is grab your tea.
Yeah.
Grab your honey shot and just sit and chill and just let go. I think we all tend to just keep pushing, and we don't give ourselves that time to just unwind. And My Jane and KIKOKO both are wellness based, and let's look at our health concerns and not push ourselves into the ground. So we're here to support each other. So I want to thank you, Shanetta, for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you to KIKOKO. So just wanted to remind you guys, if you're listening via Apple Podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe so more people can find these great My Jane, My Stories and own their wellness. That's why we're here, is to help you own your wellness. So thank you everyone for coming and being such a wonderful part of the My Jane community. And we do have some nice new things coming out soon. I will give you a little tidbit that we are getting ready to launch our new all CBD sleep box. So just look for that coming out here soon. But go ahead and reach out anytime. We're here to support. We're here to help. We're here to answer any questions, and have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to My Jane, My Story. If you want to learn more, you can join the My Jane community at myjane.com. Get instant access to our Facebook group, Facebook community, educational resources, and updates on My Jane products and special events. And for personal attention right now, you can also pick up the phone and call 833-MY-JANE2. That's MYJANE2. And speak to your own wellness concierge, because it's time to own your wellness. Be well.